Our culture, it punches so far above its weight, it is almost ridiculous that Jamaica has the reach that it does. Our sound system culture, our athletes, what we have in front of us is unheard of. How do we capture more of that value in Jamaica?
Sometimes you know something about Jamaica, but when you hear it said out loud, it just completely blows your mind. And that's exactly what happened when Mr. Sidney Thwaites gave his opening remarks at the Vision 2030 Jamaica Fest. What Mr. Thwaites said about Jamaica immediately makes you sit up and start thinking, because although he says nothing new, it still has a powerful impact. Listen to what he said.
Our culture, it punches so far above its weight that if you look at the countries of influence culturally in the world, there is no country of 3 million people that has the reach of Jamaica.
Mr. Thwaites is a Jamaican manufacturing executive and also the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association president. The event, titled Vision 2030 Jamaica Love Jamaica Fest, was held on February 13, 2026, at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston. When he said that Jamaica, a country of just 3 million people, has a cultural reach that rivals nations 100 times its size, it really forces you to stop and think.
If you take the large cultural economies, the UK, US, you could throw in Nigeria, South Korea, you could throw in a bunch of them. You're talking about 300 million people, 200 million people. It is almost ridiculous that Jamaica has the reach that it does. Our entertainers, our musicians, our sound system culture, our athletes, multiplying the culture we have, the uniqueness and the confidence in our culture, and we've got the multiplier effect of the diaspora and our tourism. What we have in front of us is unheard of.
That really is a great question. How did Jamaica come to have such a dominant cultural role globally? Was it just luck and great timing? Or were there specific conditions that allowed this tiny Caribbean island to dominate global culture? Mr. Thwaites is totally correct, of course. Jamaica does punch far above its weight culturally, and it really is mind-blowing to witness Jamaica's cultural influence around the world. But how exactly did a small island gain this dominant position culturally? Was it luck? Perfect timing? Or is there more to it than that?
But wait, all this was done in challenging economic times from the 60s to the 2000s. This was all done in a time of high crime and challenging social issues. How does that happen? I don't know if you could duplicate it if you wanted to.
There is no country with a population of around 3 million people that has influenced global music, language, fashion, sports, spirituality, and even political consciousness the way Jamaica has. Think about that. Countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, Nigeria, South Korea, all have giant populations in comparison. The smallest of that group has 51 million people. Jamaica has just 3 million. Yet Jamaican culture is everywhere. And this isn't just about reggae music. There is a full cultural ecosystem out there. But it goes without saying that music and its reach is very significant in Jamaica's story. From reggae to dancehall to sound system culture, Jamaica reshaped global music.
But where we find ourselves is we've got a decade of an economic stability and fundamentals that Jamaica has not seen in its history. We've got consistently dropping crime, and we've got the cultural reach. So the question to everybody is, what do we do with it?
The influence of artists like Bob Marley alone changed how the world understood resistance, identity, and spirituality. Sound system culture from Kingston laid the foundation for hip-hop in New York. Yes, hip-hop, DJ culture, MC culture, clash culture. It all traces back to Jamaica. And somehow, as Mr. Thwaites said, This cultural miracle took place during some of the most economically difficult decades in Jamaica's history. And yet, the music delivered cultural dominance. Then there's athletics. How does a country this small consistently produce some of the fastest humans on Earth? Usain Bolt didn't just win races. He became a global icon. Jamaica dominates sprinting in a way that defies statistical probability. Again, not a massive country, not the biggest budget, yet unmatched global visibility. Then you add the diaspora. Jamaicans abroad amplified the culture. From London to Toronto to New York, Jamaican influence gets multiplied. Add tourism to the mix, which sees millions visit Jamaica every year and taking a taste of the culture back home. The music, the slang, the vibe, the food, and even the attitude. So when Mr. Thwaites says Jamaica's reach is almost ridiculous relative to its size, he's not exaggerating. But here's where the conversation gets interesting. Was it luck? Or were there specific conditions that made this possible?
How do we build a business on it? How do we capture more of that value in Jamaica? And we'd be remiss if we didn't say, how do we protect it? And we'd be really remiss in saying, how do we continue to incubate it and support it at home? Because it's not the business leaders that did it. It's the entertainers. Yes, some of our brands are out there driving it as well, and I'm not, that's not to downplay that, but it's really the reach of our culture created in times that were very difficult. So hopefully that frames the discussion a little bit and gives us a perspective. Unless this is meant to be very interactive. So Mark.
It's fair to say Jamaicans have always had a strong sense of identity. From the patois to the rhythm, it all went global and became aspirational. Small countries often try to imitate larger ones, but Jamaica didn't. Instead, Jamaica exported itself and became one of the leaders. And it didn't stop there. Every Jamaican who migrated became a cultural ambassador. And unlike some migration stories, Jamaican migrants maintained strong cultural ties. The food, the music, the slang, the identity. That created global cultural seeds that blossom into becoming London dancehall scenes, Toronto reggae communities, and Brooklyn sound systems. Timing undoubtedly played a significant role in Jamaica's culture spreading far and wide. Reggae emerged during global civil rights movements. Messages of resistance and unity resonated worldwide. Hip-hop was forming in New York at the same time Jamaican DJs were influencing block parties. Globalization accelerated just as Jamaica's cultural exports were ready. So yes, timing mattered, but timing alone isn't enough. Many countries existed during the same periods. They didn't achieve the same global imprint. And now we reach the most important part of Mr. Thwaites' message. He said something subtle but powerful. All of this cultural dominance happened during hardship. Now Jamaica is in a different moment. More economic stability, declining crime, stronger fundamentals. So the question becomes, what do we do with this? How do you turn cultural influence into economic power? How do you build billion-dollar industries around music, sports, digital content, fashion, and intellectual property? How do you protect it? How do you incubate the next generation? Because here's the truth. The culture was built by entertainers, by creatives, by athletes, not by corporate strategy. Now the opportunity is to structure it, scale it, digitize it, own more of it locally. If Jamaica can convert cultural dominance into economic infrastructure, this could be transformational. Not just vibes, not just influence, but ownership. And this is why what Mr. Thwaites said really makes you sit up and think, because we've known Jamaica is influential. But hearing it framed like this makes you realize this isn't normal, this isn't accidental, and it might be one of the greatest case studies in global cultural economics. So was it luck? No. Was timing involved? Yes. But more than anything, it was identity, resilience, scarcity, driven innovation, diaspora amplification, and fearless cultural export. That combination is rare. What did you think about Mr. Thwaites' comments? How would you answer the question? And do you think Jamaica has fully capitalized on its cultural power? Or is the biggest opportunity still ahead? If you want more deep dives into Jamaican culture, economics, and global influence, don't forget to subscribe. Jamaica's culture has already traveled far and wide. Yet, the story is only just getting started.